Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this year's Cardinal Pride Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We're excited to see all the faces of former Hall of Fame inductees and then also our new inductees and their families and friends who come to support them. We're so happy you could all be here. We're happy that we are not getting completely pounded with rain right now, so hopefully that will hold true through the game tonight, but thank you all for coming. My name is Allie Dirksen. I'm a member of the Cardinal Pride Board. Jerry Swoboda is the president. However, he is cheering for his daughter in their section's tennis meet today. So he does send his best wishes, and he will be here at halftime to escort the inductees and their family and friends that are going to be going out on the field with them at the halftime show. I would like to introduce the Hall of Fame board members right now. I'm sorry, Cardinal Pride board members right now. They're all in red jackets like this, say Cardinal Pride Board. We have Megan, Leanne, Doug, I don't see you. Doug is running in here. His wife was borrowing his jacket, and Jen has been a great assistant for this whole event for Cardinal Pride, the Cardinal Pride Board. Scott and Heidi and Manny. I'm just going to say a few words about Cardinal Pride. Cardinal Pride was started in 1999 by some local community members who saw the need for supporting the Cardinal athletics as they were lacking funding from the school system. So we're there to try to help out our athletic programs at the Wilmer School, both the middle school and the high school. We support their programs. Since 2009 is when we have our documentation from, but we've been able to provide over $130,000 for our student athletes and their programs. Last year we were able to give to 10 different programs. Excited about that. A lot of the things we give are the helping with the uniforms, equipment needed. We've provided the mascot, we've bought a drum for the band, done other things like that, and it's we get our money from support for the Cardinal Pride through our golf fundraiser, which some of you participate in, 50-50 raffles, fall programs, which you'll see at the front door from the advertisers. A local community helps us with that. The golf outing does, we have created an endowment fund to support the kids, and hopefully the plan with that endowment fund is that no student athlete will have to pay a student fee someday. Hopefully it'll be free to play at Wilmer School for our students. But tonight we are very excited to induct 6 new Hall of Fame individuals: Steve Schneider, John Nelson, Gene Spalding, Lane Erickson, Deryl Ramey, and Gain Stone. We're very excited to induct you gentlemen into the Hall of Fame tonight. It'll be a very exciting night. Choosing inductees for the Hall of Fame is no simple task. We do get nominations from community members, family members, coaches for the individuals that are presented to us. We don't go seek out these individuals. The board is a volunteer board, and we do get many very qualified candidates for induction into the Cardinal Pride Hall of Fame. But we do look for more than just athleticism from the inductees. We look for inductees that have been supportive teammates, good community members, leadership skills, and other character attributes than just the athleticism that you bring. So thank you to you Hall of Fame members for the role models that you've been for your team, and to our future athletes coming behind you. Congratulations to all of you, and we look forward to a fun evening. Before we eat, we're going to have a prayer by Tom Corneo. And then also, I do want to preface this. We're going to have the inductee and their person introducing them come up. We do have 6 inductees, so we do ask that we try to keep things moving along. We do want to all get to the game tonight and cheer on the Cardinals. So we're asking, try to keep it to 5 minutes would be great. Right? Back there? All right, got it. Good. But no, we look forward to hearing some great stories about these athletes and coaches. Tom?
As I look around the room, I look up to most of those 6 in the inductees coming in. In fact, I look up to most everybody. But let's have a word of prayer and bless the food. The 6 inductees in this Cardinal Pride Hall of Fame have exhibited outstanding accomplishments in a wide variety of venues, following in the footsteps of many before, some recently passed on. They all exhibited passion for their sporting areas and led their teammates and athletes by example. They also leaned upon their families, colleagues, and teammates for motivation along the way. So while it is raining outside today, and it's maybe quitting, the weather will not dampen the spark exhibited by these 6.
Well, I don't think we ever double dated, so. My name is Doug Deering, and I had the honor of playing for Coach from 86 through 88. And I'll just go through and tell you a little bit about Coach here. Deryl Ramey graduated from Atwater High School in 1962 with 17 letters in football, basketball, baseball, and track. He went on to the University of Minnesota in 1966, where he played football for 4 years for Coach Murray Hormath. He played center, linebacker, and was a place kicker. In 1969, he earned his degree from St. Cloud State, got a master's there. Coach's career has spanned 51 years in positions at Atwater High School, Sauk Center, University of Minnesota Crookston, University of North Dakota, and Wilmer High School. He's coached many sports, including football, boys and girls track, and girls basketball. And he's currently coaching up at Brainerd, which I'm still having a hard time getting used to. In his long and still active coaching career, Deryl has received various Coach of the Year awards. He's in the Hall of Fame at the University of Minnesota Crookston. He's in the Minnesota High School Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame, and in the West Central Tribune Sports Hall of Fame. So this makes 4. Deryl and Nancy, his wife of 54 years, are retired, living up in Baxter. They have 4 grown children, 13 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. And been to the cabin up there, and it's great. When I talked to Coach and he asked me to do this for him, I quick jotted down some things that came to mind, and crooked hat came to mind, red face, that laugh, that smile, that voice, quip to quip. I don't know if you remember that, but you taught me those. And Cincinnati chili. And also going up to the cabin. This morning I had the honor to be with all the inductees at the radio station and listen to stories that they were telling. And Gain Stone was speaking about his coaching career. Gain was my guidance counselor, by the way. Thank you. And he was talking about how coaches have an impact on lives, and it got me thinking about the impact that Coach had on my life. Back in 1986, I was up here for my brother's wedding. I lived in Florida, and I was in town, and I don't know how he knew, but he came over to our house one day and introduced himself, and told me that he'd love it if I decided to stay in Wilmer and give football a try. And my parents lived here, so it was really easy for me to. My mom lived in Minnesota, my dad was in Florida, so it was easy for me to kind of make that decision. But as we were talking this morning at the radio station, that was a moment in my life that basically changed my life. I'm so grateful for him to be coming into my life at that point. From then on, he stayed in my life, and we learned a lot of lessons through football. If some of you remember back in '87, Coach got a little bit of press about getting in someone's face during a game. That person was me. And I had just gotten ejected from a football game, and what some of the fans didn't hear was Coach telling me basically, what good are you to us on the sidelines? And what people didn't see was the next morning over here at Films, where Coach gave me a hug and we talked, and we had a good talk and we moved on. And he knew exactly what to say to me at the right time. He was also the same guy that was there the next year when he told us before the game that we needed somebody to make a play, and I ran down on the kickoff and I made a play, and he was the first one there, and he picked me up, and he was as happy as anybody else on our team. And those are some of the things that I remember about him. But I guess the most important thing, I have some other coaches here, Bezzy and Hansen are here, and hearing these guys talk about Bill Hansen and what an impact they had on their life, it's just such an honor to be able to be up here with this guy. And you know, he's a legend. Every one of you here know him. And just to be here and be able to introduce you is such an honor. And you are the great storyteller. And so I'm going to turn it over to you. It's my honor to introduce Coach Deryl Ramey into the 2017 Cardinal Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Doug. Wow. This is so awesomely overwhelming and humbling and fun, and everything that you can say about anything as an experience in one's life. I congratulate all of the inductees, and my friend Steve, John, and Gene, Lane's Gene, and Gain. I remember Gene from the 50s, and I was in 8th grade and 9th grade, and I'd look at the West Central Tribune and I'd see Gene Spalding in the headlines. And to myself, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. And I'd see Steve, my friend Steve, as a teammate in town team baseball. And I always wanted to be as good a pitcher as Steve Schneider was. And Gain Stone, who we coached together in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. And I always wanted to be able to relate to kids and get along with kids like Gain Stone could. I didn't have personal relationships, okay, with the other inductees, but I wish I would have, because during the course of today, I've gotten to hear what they have to say, and these are just awesome people in every phase of life. While coaching in Atwater in 1969, I had friends, lots of friends come over because I loved to come over here. And one of them approached me, would you like to come to Wilmer and be an assistant football coach with Bill Hansen? And I thought, wow, what an opportunity that would be to learn from Bill. And it didn't work out. There wasn't a teaching opening, and other things happened, and various moves took place. In the early years of marriage and schools and things like this, my wife Nancy of 54 years and I used to have something we'd say to each other. And I'd come home and we'd be sitting around the dinner table and I'd say, guess what? And she'd say, where are we moving next? And I'd come home from school and sit down at dinner and everything would be happening, and she'd say, guess what? And I'd say, what does it do? And there was always the guess whats. I tell you, we truly loved our 28 years in Wilmer. I never thought we'd leave, but it was just a great place to live and to raise a family. It was home. But another opportunity came. You know, we coached wonderful people in Wilmer, and including my son. And all of a sudden here, 13 years ago, a chance came to coach alongside him. Another adventure, another life experience, and I thought it was something that would be really neat to do, and decided to do it. At that time, I also had a chance to possibly coach a grandson, which I did, and that was an awesome experience. When that move came to that town up north, my good friend Rand Middleton stated it something like, I had moved to the dark side. And Rand, you know, the dark side ended up being 30 minutes from our summer place, our lake place at Lake Shannon over by Motley, which has become a very important part of our family, and will continue to be so. You know, I've always been indebted to my wife and kids for being willing to move, to go to the places that we had chances to go, because it was always an adventure, and the friends that we were able to make and the experiences that we had. God has blessed us. And I guess I thank the Wilmer schools, and I thank Cardinal Pride. And I thank you so much for this exciting honor. You are the best. And I thank all the wonderful teachers and the staff and the administrators. Thank you, Russ and Cliff. Okay, thank you so much. Especially the hundreds of students and the athletes that I had the privilege of working with for 25 years. You are the best. And I thank family for being willing again to follow this old man around the place. You are the best. And I'm so thankful for the friendships that we've been able to create, especially the 28 years in Wilmer. You are the best. And to Coach Connell, who was not here, but to all the Cardinals and the staff and the players, all the Cardinal athletes, and all the Cardinal coaches, you are the best. Go Big Red.
Congratulations to everybody, and thank you to everybody for coming today. It's so great to see such a big turnout for this event. Do just want to say a special thank you to Fernando Alvarado for taking the photos here today. Thank you, Fernando. And Josh Furman. And Jen Deering did a lot of the behind the scenes work for us here to make this event come together, so we greatly appreciate that. And thank you to all my fellow board members for bringing it together today, from going from the tent to no tent to the school to outside, and so far it worked out really well. So we're happy that you're all able to make it and the rain stayed away at this point in time.
Football and baseball, all-state honorable mention in football. Another highlight for him was coaching with Lefty Ranweiler at Wilmer Junior College in the spring of '73. Signing baseball, granting aid to play for the University of Minnesota as a starting shortstop for 3 years, and winning the 1964 College World Series. And finally being drafted in the minor leagues by the Pittsburgh Pirates, Chicago White Sox, and California Angels, eventually signing a contract with the Angels in the 1966 and playing for 4 years in their farm system. Our first inductee tonight, Mr. Steve Schneider.
Josh, how you doing, brother? Good, how you doing?
Team that was ranked #1 in the state, Class AA. being a member of the varsity baseball team at the age of 14. Playing basketball at Williams Arena in the Section 5 regional tournament, where Wilmer High School nearly upset Robbinsdale in the semifinals. He was awarded the top athlete in a very talented Wilmer High School class of 1971, and also playing with his teammates in the 1970 football season when Wilmer High School went undefeated and received a top 10 ranking in the Minneapolis Star Tribune. Our next inductee, John Nelson. Our next inductee is Gene Spalding. Gene was selected to the 1958 Prep Parade All-State Football Team. Selected to the 1958 National High School All-American Football Team. He was a member of the National 1,000 Yard Club for gaining 1,782 total yards. He was also a member of the National 100 Point Club for scoring 106 points. Also held school records in the pole vault, 11 1/4 inches, and the 880 relay at a 127.8 that was set in 1959. Our next inductee, Mr. Gene Spalding. All right, our next inductee is Lane Erickson. Lane earned 8 varsity letters in 3 sports, football, basketball, and baseball. He was an all-area basketball player in 1963 and 1964. All-region in basketball in 1964, all-area in football in 1963, all-conference in football in 63 and 64, and Lane was a Hinsler-Ranweiler Award winner in 1965. Lane isn't with us tonight as he has passed, so let's give a big warm applause to Lane Erickson. Our next inductee is a stranger to no one here in Wilmer, Minnesota. As he comes walking down the track is Deryl Ramey. Deryl Ramey was hired in Wilmer as a teacher and football coach as well as track coach in 1978. Some of his highlights were coaching Stacy Manuel, the 2002 Wilmer graduate, when she set a state and national high school record in the pole vault at 13 feet 4 inches as a sophomore. Also coaching the Wilmer Cardinal football team to the state playoffs in 1987 and 1988. Coaching girls basketball alongside Shorty Schrader in 2 state tournaments in 1992 and 1994. And Deryl says being privileged to work with the wonderful students, athletes, faculty, staff, and administration in Wilmer for 25 years. Inductee, Mr. Deryl Ramey. And now our final inductee in the 2017 Cardinal Pride Hall of Fame, Mr. Gabe Stone. Gabe was a Wilmer High School mathematics teacher, counselor, and coach from 1966 to 1998. Gabe coached 3 sports for many years: boys and girls cross country, boys swimming, and boys and girls track and field. Started and coached the boys swimming team for 22 years in 1969, where they were Central Lakes Conference champions 5 times and section champions 3 times. Coached numerous state meet entries in boys and girls cross country and track and field as well as boys swimming. many times, all of them in the same year. He was Coach of the Year 2 times in cross country and 3 times in swimming. Named Assistant Track Coach of the Year for the state of Minnesota in 1997. Mr. Gain Stone.